history-making conversation with the parents behind the headlines. Lindsay and Tim Pierce's 1-month-old has been called the world's oldest baby after he was born in July from an embryo created more than 30 years ago. Joining us is the woman who helped make their fertility dreams come true, Beth Button, the vice president of the Snowflake Embryo Adoption Program. Beth, thank you so much for joining us. I was shocked by the number, 1.5 million frozen embryos stored right now, and you've described it as the Wild West. Why is that?
There really aren't a lot of regulations on fertility treatment in the U.S., especially compared to other countries. And a lot of people actually estimate it to be a lot more than 1.5 million.
Really? Mm-hmm. So there's no system to keep track?
There is no requirement for clinics to keep track of embryos.
And the embryos that are stored are not stored for free. I mean, in some cases, in the case of Thaddeus, the donor who we will meet was paying around $1,000 a year.
Right.
For 30 years. Mm-hmm. I was mad I was paying that for some furniture. Now I've got a baby.
It's a lot. Yeah, the average is probably around $700 a year.
$700 a year.
Yeah.
And many of the families who have kept the embryos stored for so long, what's the reason?
You know, this is one thing I've learned. It's a very difficult emotional process that they're going through. So these embryos were created with the intention for them to be their children and for them to parent them. And they often do not anticipate that they'll have remaining embryos. And so then having to make that decision, there's a lot of grief involved in that. And so sometimes it's just easier to pay that annual storage bill and kind of, you know, just push it back.
Yeah. Because to your point, a lot of times when you're doing IVF in the retrieval process, they want to have you produce as many eggs as possible because this increases your chances of being able to actually have a transfer that works. So in this case, I know that you specialize, or your company specializes in so-called hard-to-place embryos.
So we do, Snowflake's Embryo Adoption will accept any embryo. But we do have a division within our program that's called Open Hearts, and that is for the harder to place embryos. So those that have been frozen for, you know, up to 30 years or more.
The process of adopting an embryo can run a family around, I was told, like $8,500 or so, $9,000.
So our fee is $8,500, and then they'll have those medical expenses on top of that. So unfortunately, you know, a lot of health insurance companies may not cover that.
Really?
Some of them will. So that varies quite a bit.
Are you seeing more companies cover?
We are hearing more from our clients, yes, that their health insurance policy will cover at least part of that treatment.
Coming up, Beth is sticking around. We are going to meet the embryo donor behind the miracle birth of Thaddeus. They've emailed a few emails, but for the first time, they actually get to have a conversation, and you'll see it here only on the Tamron Hall Show. Plus, later, an exclusive look inside the fertility clinic behind this history-making baby and so many others. We'll be right back.
Are you a fashion designer? You and your designs could be featured on Tamron Hall's next up-and-coming designer series. Just go to TamronHallShow.com and click Be on the Show.